Former President Donald Trump hammered Vice President Kamala Harris on the economy during a speech in Georgia today. If elected, he says he will cut the corporate tax rate, says the country will have a manufacturing boom, and plans to, quote, take other countries' jobs.
Georgia and Savannah are going to be right in the center of the action. We're going to rebuild our manufacturing, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen fast and beautifully. For years, Americans have watched as our country was stripped of jobs and wealth, and our companies were sold off to foreign countries. You've been watching, and it's been a horror show.
Harris is expected to unveil new economic policies of her own Wednesday. CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins us now. Scott, what is former President Trump's strategy focusing on manufacturing in this moment, and how is he weaving through the idea of how tariffs, which have been criticized by some, how is he sort of weaving that into the message of how that would benefit voters?
Oh, he's synthesizing it into so many parts of his campaign messaging on the economy, including manufacturing. And he's bringing that argument to areas where manufacturing is king. He was in Indiana, Pennsylvania last night. He has more stops expected in more battleground states where manufacturing has a big foothold. Making the argument today, though, is that tariffs and, in his argument, drilling and producing more domestic energy has the prospect of generating so much money you can pay down the national debt and help families get better jobs and get better pay. Making that argument despite the fact that U.S. energy production is at all-time highs right now already. But he's trying to press the issue of the economy. And watching his remarks today in Savannah, Georgia, he did spend a larger proportion of the remarks on some form of economic message, a little more, though not perfect discipline on message today, Lindsay, which is important because his advisors and his fellow Republicans here in Washington say he's doing more effective work when he pushes the issue of the economy and gets less caught up in unrelated and personal attacks.
Vice President Harris has gained some ground in our polling among voters who say the economy is a major factor in their vote. But I think it's interesting that she is planning another economic speech. Is this sort of in response to what voters are saying? We want to hear more?
That's going to be in Pittsburgh. No surprise she'll be there in Western Pennsylvania, being such a critical area in such a critical state. The issues of the economy are so broad, it's hard to just talk about them without getting into details, or you're really not saying much of anything. She has been specific, talking about child tax credits to help people with child care, grocery prices, we talked about price gouging. Getting into more specifics helps gain ground on the issue of the economy because it is so sweeping, it is so large. You're really not making inroads with voters if you talk about it at a macro level. And I think what you're hearing from Donald Trump when you talk about tariffs is a lack of specificity that his team may want to try to refine. The more you talk about the kitchen table issues, the things that drive people, their jobs, their food bills, their gasoline prices, I think the more impactful these messages can be. And we know this, Lindsay, because we hear congressional candidates and we see their advertising and messaging getting into the more granular details of the economy. That's what I'm watching for with Vice President Harris tomorrow in Pittsburgh.
When it comes to Harris, though, she says often she is all about the opportunity economy. And yes, she has talked about some specific policy proposals, such as expanding the child tax credit, building more starter homes. But do you also find that she needs to do some refining, or that aides are telling her that she needs to be more refined with her messaging on the economy as well?
We noticed she opened that debate, the presidential debate against Donald Trump. One of the first arguments she made was about a small business tax credit to infuse more small businesses, which also helps lean into a life story about how she has connections, visceral, with small business owners. And that's something she'd like to press in the days and weeks ahead. But some of this bandwidth has got to be dedicated to other issues. And our latest reporting is that it's possible she makes a southern border visit on Friday during her battleground trips to the Southwest. So you have to save some bandwidth for the other things that are driving voters. And we know immigration and economy are both drivers right now.
An issue that our friend Fin Gomez says she might need to do some political jujitsu on. Scott MacFarlane, thank you. As a reminder, CBS News will host the only vice presidential debate between Senator J.D. Vance and Governor Tim Walz on Tuesday, October 1st in New York. We will have live coverage on CBS, CBS News 24/7, and Paramount Plus.